What's up, ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube world? This is Chris, aka Barnon11970, and this is a video response to Peter Schiff, who actually went on my video about why I unsubscribed to him, and he left a comment. Now, I could say I'm a little flattered, but yet a little disappointed at the same time. Flattered that he would actually take the time to come to my channel and make a comment, and a little bit disappointed in what he wrote, which was very much based on assumption, because he's basing it on one video instead of seeing that my whole entire channel has been dedicated to a lot of things that he's talked about. But I'm going to read the quote, and then I'm going to do my little rebuttal. And this is the comment that Peter Schiff left on my video of why I unsubscribed from Peter Schiff. And I quote, "I guess it's no big deal that you stopped listening to me, as apparently you learned very little." That's unfortunate that you would say something like that. That's a little unprofessional in my point of view from somebody that's supposedly as well known as you are, but that's fine to make that assumption. When people buy gold from my company, I am not selling them any of my own gold. That I totally understand. I am selling other people's gold that I buy wholesale from dealers. I also understand that. Now, if one of my customers wants to pay using Bitcoins, they do not pay their Bitcoins to my company. I understand that. We do not accept them. They pay their Bitcoins to BitPay, which is a separate company. I understand that. Then BitPay pays me dollars. It's only after we receive dollars that we ship out any gold. So if Bitcoin prices rise or fall, it makes no difference to me, as I never own any. Now, if you can get BitPay to accept your old newspapers and pay me dollars, I will be happy to sell you some gold. So there's a bit of sarcasm there. There's a bit of unprofessionalism on his behalf, and a little bit of an assumption. So, Peter, I hope you will take the time to actually watch this, because I'm not going to resort to name-calling and making assumptions like you have. Because believe it or not, I've been following you since 2008. And I'm very aware of what's going on in the world. I'm very familiar with GLD, SLV. I'm very familiar with the Federal Reserve and how it is a separate entity, not part of the United States Corporation, which if you don't know what that is, I highly suggest you watch and research the Act of 1871, and you'll learn a little bit deeper about what's going on with the Constitution in this world and all those other things. I've been buying gold back when gold was under $600 an ounce. So I'm very aware of buying physical gold and silver, even to the point where I don't worry about these dips, because probably, especially in silver, probably 80% of my silver purchases have been under $25 an ounce, and about 75% of my gold that I've bought has been under $900 an ounce. So I'm very aware of the situations that are going on. I listen to people like Dr. Robert Shun. I listen to people like Gerald Celente and other people like Mike Maloney and yourself. So I'm very aware of what's going on. I haven't listened to mainstream media news in over 2 years. I only watch people who are in the know. So I'm very aware of your scenario, Mr. Schiff. Now, the thing that you've assumed about me is you've based it solely on one comment that I said I was disappointed that you're accepting Bitcoins. And I understand you're not taking them personally, but you're still allowing that to be placed in to what you're trying to achieve. And that's the selling of whoever's gold. Because whether it's your gold or someone else's, you're making a profit from it. So you're a part of it. Now, it's the indirect approach that you're using the BitPay, but you're still getting people to use their Bitcoins, which you did not believe in. And the situation that I used with that was saying, like, for example, if somebody said, I don't believe in murder, because you said you don't believe in Bitcoins, you think they have no value, you would never use them, but now you're still accepting them, not directly, but indirectly, for the profitability of your gold that you handle, not your own personal gold. I never assumed that, and I never said that. You assume that. But like, for example, when I said if somebody was saying that they don't believe in murder, they would never murder somebody, killing somebody is wrong, and I would never do it, and they turn around and hire a hitman to kill somebody. Now, did that person actually physically kill someone else? No, but they are responsible for being part of what took place. It's kind of that washing your hands on the whole situation thing, like what happened even with the story of Jesus Christ. How I think his name was Pilate, I forget his name, I'm not extremely religious, but he was the Roman emperor that basically washed his hands on what they wanted to do and killed the Savior Jesus Christ. He is still responsible for it, but he technically was not the one that did the actual murder. Now, of course, I'm not comparing you to the same thing, but what I'm saying is you've made several videos, and I've watched you for a long enough time to know how when you do interviews, you always interrupt people, you always cut them off, you don't allow people to speak, you speak over people, but I still watched. When you had your interview with Joe Rogan, and he was drilling you about the fracking company that you have, and he was saying how he was disappointed how you were avoiding the issue of how it's disturbing people's water and polluting their water, and how you avoided that issue. And I watched that. I still watched you. And you've said on several occasions, on several interviews about Bitcoins, that you don't believe in them, you think they have no value, and yet you're allowing some other company to do the business for you so you could profit. And I think, and I'm going to make an assumption here, but I think you know some of the rumors that a lot of us here that really do research gold and silver, the physical aspect of it, that in the next month, there's a huge dip potentially coming in gold and silver. Rumors have it that gold is going to go down between $1,000 and $900 an ounce, and silver could go down as low as $1,500, I wish, go down to about $15 an ounce, and then about a month or so later, it's going to go parabolic. So I just find the timing a little interesting, that if that is something, the rumor that you've either heard of or something that could be potentially true, because we know there's insider trading and there's insider information all the time, that would be an interesting time for you to decide to all of a sudden want to have this extra way to have more profits come out of gold and sell before a huge dip potentially happens. Now, of course, there's no guarantees, but if it does, it'd be very convenient to be able to buy it back once that dip happens, especially if you're knowing that in a month or so after that dip, that price might go parabolic. I just question the timing. But I also question the fact that you said you don't believe in Bitcoins. And again, I'm not sitting here saying you're taking them yourself and you're not selling your own personal stash, but you're sending a wrong message to people like me who have been followers to you. And that's why I used to listen, and I say used to. I used to listen to people like Max Kaiser. I used to listen to people like Alex Jones. I used to listen to people like SGT Bull. And you've done interviews on his channel as well. The problem is, sometimes a few bad apples can spoil the tree. And all I did was state my opinion that I was disappointed. And yes, maybe my newspaper thing was a little uncalled for, but it wasn't meant to insult, but you used it in a very sarcastic way back to me. Now, I'm just a regular nobody. You're supposed to be a professional. And to come onto my channel, basing it on one video and one little comment, basing the assumption and not realizing that my entire channel, and I actually had another channel, but I shut it down due to death threats that I was getting at one point. But my channel since 2010 has been dedicated on trying to expose frauds and try and speak as much truth. I've always talked to people about gold and silver, and I say that even with these dips, I use it as insurance for what's going to be happening. With all the quantitative easing that's happening, with all of this bailouts of the banks and all the corruption and nobody going to jail, I'm very aware of what's going on. And I see what's going down the line. So I'm very aware. So unfortunately, your assumption that I don't know what I'm talking about, unfortunately, you're incorrect with that. So what this actually did was it made me even happier that I am no longer listening to you. And but I am going to say, for the things I've learned, I thank you, because you did help amongst lots of other people that I've followed, that you have given information that is beneficial. But I've always made this statement: if you take 99 pounds of ice cream and add 1 pound of crap and mix it together, what do you have? You have 100 pounds of crap, which means a little bit of wrong can taint a lot of right. And that's why I don't listen to people like Max Kaiser and Alex Jones and Adam Kokesh and some of those other people, Chris Duane, because they started out with some very good information and then they went in a different direction that I just didn't respect. But none of them have ever come onto my channel and done what you did. So I'm flattered that you would take the time, but I highly recommend watch some of my other videos and see that my channel is dedicated to trying to speak about truth. I talk about how banks originally started, and I talk about the corruption, and I talk about how the Federal Reserve has basically destroyed about 90 to 93% of the dollar's worth. I'm a little disappointed in your comment. And who knows if you'll even respond to this or even watch it. But the point of the matter is I'm in the same game. But you're basically showing people that capitalism is fine, and that's wonderful. But especially when it comes to your fracking business, it seems that money is the major priority. And that's one thing I will never have in my life. I make just enough to get by, and I create my own items, like my own organic products and things like that. I'm very self-sufficient. And I listen to lots of people, but I don't follow anybody blindly. So I'm sorry that I'm not going to be one of your minions anymore and follow you blindly. If that's what you need, then that's what you'll get. There are plenty of followers in this world. And if you come to a person and insult them the way you did, that makes me question you even more. So I hope that made you feel good that you dug in that little bit. I hope that made you feel real good. I'm not intimidated by anybody. Just because you have millions of dollars in your pocket does not mean you're a better human being than anybody on this planet. So the arrogance that you portray, that's something that you have to deal with, not me. So I'm just a humble, regular person that'll stand up to anybody. So Mr. Schiff, I wish you well. I hope you make tons of money off of the people who will follow you blindly. But I, for one, with the money that I spend for my gold and silver, it will never be from your company. And I'm sure you don't care. And that's perfectly fine, because I guess that makes it mutual. So if you ever want to have a regular, decent human conversation without assumption, I'll be more than happy to do that. That's up to you, my friend, but I wish you well. There are plenty of people out there that make plenty of money, and unfortunately, a lot of those people are the problem in this world, because ultimate power causes ultimate corruption at a certain point. And I'm glad I will never get that way, because I don't want to, because I have better priorities. But thanks for your comment. I appreciate it. Let's see what you do from here. Enjoy your business. Peace.